I made a custom Pokemon Card Bingo game for my first ever Collecticon, but it might be my last because if I don't get Bingo, I'm never coming back. Okay, create arbitrary stakes, check. Each square on my bingo card represents a different piece of Pokemon card history, so completing this challenge depends entirely on what Collecticon has to offer. Establish helplessness, check. I only have 2 days to pull it off. Ticking clock. So I'm either gonna need a keen eye or a bigger budget. Exaggerate the difficulty and make it about money. Check and check. Okay, I've been teasing the idea of doing IRL content on this channel for a while now, and while I can't match the energy of the YouTube grades, a challenge video did seem like a good way to boost my previous completion rates. Alright, so we just got here. I don't have a great plan. As we start getting close to a bingo, hopefully, then we'll know what we're looking for. I had plenty of options to start out because I was basically looking for any of the 54 Pokemon I've covered in videos so far, plus Magikarp because I really want to finish their master set before I get to that video. Time to start flipping through binders. I think this is one already. Each column on my board has a specific category. In this case, we're checking the box on the Secret Rare column. Secret Rares have a card number higher than their set total, and they were first introduced in the Team Rocket set with Dark Raichu. They've taken many forms throughout the years like Full Arts, Rainbow Rares, Special Illustration Rares, and Wigglytuff checks off the Illustration Rare box. I had a feeling that was going to be the easiest slot to fill today. There's too many options. I found 4 already of the Illustration Rare slot. In my excitement, I ended up getting both the Wigglytuff IR from Phantasmal Flames and the Vulpix IR from Mega Evolution, even though they fall in the same slot. Then in the next binder I looked in, oh my gosh. A first edition uncommon Raticate from base set. This would go in the first column, which features Wizards of the Coast cards. Wizards of the Coast was the original printer and distributor of Pokemon cards in the United States, starting with the base set and going through Skyridge. My bingo board has a range of rarities and is mostly focused on first edition cards since that was unique to the era. I originally was nervous about being able to find more common cards at an event like this, but having an uncommon in hand already was a great sign. Before even leaving the first table, I found Mega Clefable EX, which fills the Secret Rare Full Art box, and picked out Erica's Vileplume, which not only fulfills another WotC slot, but also gives us our first gimmick card. I don't mean that in a derogatory way. This column showcases unique elements of Pokemon cards from specific sets or eras, with the last two making a comeback in the modern era. I guess I'm keeping it old school though after finding Erica's Vileplume from Gym Heroes for the Trainer Pokemon Square. Time to move on and see what else we can find. For a minute, I thought I might have been spoiled by the first table, but then I spotted the perfect card to pick up. It's in there, I promise. The Reverse Holo Magikarp from Expedition. This card unlocks both of the remaining columns, starting with the Artist column, which specifies prominent illustrators to hunt for. In the final column, I'm searching for cards from different eras showcasing the unique Reverse Holo treatment of the time. The Magikarp card is illustrated by Tomokazu Kamiya and is a reverse holo from the E-Series era. There's one hurdle though. The vendor has this priced at $170. This seemed like a good time to break out the trade binder. Picking up the reverse holo Expedition Magikarp and giving away this beautiful pile for, I actually forget what the number was, 6 something? 630? 630 on top. 25 is fine. My social anxiety makes me a terrible negotiator, and I think somebody else noticed. What's that? If you want to look, go ahead. After getting absolutely fleeced by this kid, I decided to take a break and regroup. With 2 boxes checked from the Magikarp card, the Wargs board was filling up faster than I expected. And now with some additional funds, things were looking pretty rough for the placeholders in my binders. Oh wait, what the heck? So I only realized while editing this video that Erica's Vileplume wasn't actually an eligible card because I have it already. Hopefully I end up with some other cards that overlap. Back to the binders. Getting rid of placeholders is very satisfying, but if the goal is improving my completion percentage, then it's really only half the battle. The Pokemon Company is always making new cards, and since my last update video they had released 2 new sets. Luckily, Pitch Black doesn't have any cards from the Pokemon I've covered, but Chaos Rising has 7 of them, and one stood out above all others, Kakuna. I currently have a complete Kakuna set, and not wanting to give up that title, I held the live stream determined to keep opening Chaos Rising packs until I had both the normal and reverse holo version. Wish me luck finding Kakuna. Hey, there we go, first binder hit. Reverse Holo Vulpix works too. I started out pretty hot with pack 2 containing both the Golbat and the reverse hollow Ninetales. Then pack 3 gave me the Zubat. And pack 4? Hey. Only 4 packs in and the hard part was done. Now I just needed to find the normal common Kakuna, but we'll check back in on this a little later. Back at the convention, I was analyzing my updated board to come up with a strategy.
I guess this line's pretty good too. We got a lot of options. I guess it didn't really hone anything in, but we're doing good.
Never mind, I guess we're still going with the flow. But that led us right to an opportunity to pick up a common first edition card. To explain what's happening here, I'm trying to decide whether I should get a first edition Sandshrew card for $20 or a first edition Bulbasaur for $90. Longtime viewers of this channel know that this should be a pretty easy choice because I already have a first edition Bulbasaur. It was literally the first card I ever showed on this channel. But the wad of cash in my pocket was clouding my judgment and I went with the Bulbasaur. Pressing on, my search continued until I ran into another card that might require some explanation.
I haven't talked too much about it, but I had a secret page in my binder here for just that scenario.
Just when you thought I was done explaining the rules, I can now reveal the secret Keen Eye wildcard category that I created featuring cards that are tougher to spot. This included the final prints of base set and fossil where the year 2000 was added to the copyright, as well as the holo cards from Jungle that were printed without the set symbol. Finding any of these would allow me to fill any square that I wanted, and I just spotted the missing symbol Vileplume.
I'll go ahead and grab that one.
After some internal deliberation, I decided to use this on the first edition holo square, which could be a dangerous category for my wallet. Then at the next table, I spotted an extremely useful card.
So I see a dark Raichu in here, which would check off a classic secret rare and a dark column, so I think it's time.
It would also fix our holo rare problem from the WotC column that I didn't know about at the time. And with Raichu still on the brain, I spotted a Yukimori Raichu from Skyridge.
Okay, so we got the Skyridge card. The only thing it checks off is that it's a Yukimori card. I think that means we're down to 1 on the bottom column.
It would mean that if I actually had a trainer Pokemon. Luckily, I was still trying to keep my options open when I spotted a Gloom Reverse Holo from Holon Phantoms.
So that's our set stamp reverse holo that we're looking for.
It's also a Delta Species card, so unbeknownst to me, I had bingo. Unfortunately, I wouldn't realize that until it was too late to matter. I did, however, finally realize one of my mistakes.
I messed up, and I don't know why I didn't think I had that Bulbasaur first edition already, but I do. So I'm gonna hopefully see if they still got that Sandshrew, and then we don't have to mess up with the checking of the boxes.
To put it more eloquently, fixing this first edition common square would leave us with plenty of options to complete our bingo.
Interested in this Sandshrew here. The Sandshrew? Yeah. Thank you. All right. Problem solved.
Back at the Kakuna hunt, that's it. 5 packs into the booster box and we already hit our goal. And since it happened so quickly, I didn't stop there. The first half of the box kept the success going with Vulpix in the 7th pack, Beedrill EX in the 8th pack, Weedle in the 10th pack, Ninetales in the 11th pack, and the Golbat Reverse Holo in the 14th pack. With only 3 more cards on my list, it seemed like there was a real chance I could get out of this without needing any new placeholders, so I kept going. While we didn't hit our goal, it was still pretty nice to only need 2 placeholders for this set. In the end, I was glad we kept going after accomplishing the original goal so easily. I wonder if this might foreshadow what's about to happen in the Collecticon challenge. Well, before we get to that, let's update the binders with the new cards we've picked up so far. With all these added in, we'll be up to 9 total editions from the Collecticon challenge, and it looked like 1 more would get us to our goal. But which one? Okay, I have to confess something. One of these squares is an imposter. While it would appear that there are many eligible cards for each square, there's only 1 card that can fulfill the Shinji Kanda square. the Magikarp illustration rare from Paldea Evolved. As a Magikarp collector, this card has been haunting me for years. When Paldea Evolved first came out, the card cost $65, which felt very expensive to me at the time. I mean, it wasn't even a special illustration rare. While waiting for the dip, the price kept rising and it's now a $400 card, much more than I've ever spent on a single card. When I added the Shinji Kanda square to the Wargs board, I was fantasizing about an ideal scenario where I would be forced to buy this card as a last resort. Well, now I was in a position where I could buy it and get a bingo, but I wasn't forced to. So instead of just convincing myself it was okay to buy a $400 card that I really wanted, I did the most illogical thing I could think of.
But we're back. Change of plans, we're doing Blackout. I made the game too easy, so now we're doing Blackout. I really want to get that Shinji Kanda card, but now we're saying I gotta fill up the rest of the board before I can get it. So, new challenge, see if we get lucky here.
That's right, now in order to get the Shinji Kanda Magikarp, I first have to fill up the rest of the board. I had come up with a strategy for today though.
Okay, first order of business, see if they got that Pidgeotto here still.
While looking at my list, I realized that the Pidgeotto from base set is a rare card. I had seen this at the table where we found Bulbasaur and Sandshrew, but for some reason I assumed it was an uncommon card.
Hi, I'm gonna grab this Pidgeotto first edition. Thank you. All right, so that booth has been a lifesaver for us, so now we're off to find other big stuff.
Big stuff indeed. For step 2 of my plan,
I am looking for the Nidoking, Team Rocket's Nidoking SIR from, I think, Destin Rivals.
this would allow us to check off the Team Rocket box and the special illustration rare box. Now that I knew exactly what I was looking for, Nidoking had nowhere to hide. Okay, thankfully the vendor was able to point it out for me.
Oh, that is it. How'd I miss that?
There's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot. I'm gonna jump on that.
Last thing on my list for day 1 was to find another multi-box card. Specifically, I was searching for Rainbow Rare Tag Team cards.
I gotta check.
I had spotted one, but having learned my lesson, I figured I better double check that I don't already have it.
I think I found it. Hello. I think I'm gonna grab this Megalopunny and Jigglypuff tag team.
With 2 more boxes checked, I'd completed my day 1 strategies. We put the recording equipment away for the day, but I ended up doing another pass and ended up grabbing a Legendary Collection Reverse Holo Nidorina. It was the only reasonably priced Legendary Collection Reverse Holo I'd seen all day. I also snagged a Reverse Holo Nidoking from Dragon Frontiers, so we can officially check off the Delta Species Square. Somehow this clip from back at the hotel room is the only footage I have of these 2 cards from the event, but with that it was a wrap on day 1. That night I drifted off to sleep fantasizing about all the placeholders I was going to be able to swap out once I got home. And not just from Collecticon. I had built up a stack of 15 cards from last chance openings that still needed to make their way into binders, and best of all, I had recently received some donations from viewers, like the Hidden Legends Oddish from J-Comp, and the Great Encounters Beedrill from Russell, who also sent me the Clefairy placeholder they made when they were young, which seemed like an upgrade to mine. And Abby, who's working on a Perfect Order Master set, sent me 3 of her dupes that I was missing, along with some other cards that might appear in future videos. Then there was Key Monster, who sent me the Ivysaur from Crystal Guardians, and a ton of WotC era cards including Brock's Sandslash, Erika's Clefairy, Erika's Jigglypuff, Magnifier, which has a Zubat cameo, Light Venomoth, and the Vulpix from Neo Destiny. They also sent 2 other Vulpix reverse holos that I needed. With such a supporting audience, my completion percentages had nowhere to go but up. Wait, new placeholders? Mega Moonlit 10? Charmeleon got a standalone egg? What the heck is a library? Remember, there's some set of World Championship decks. You forgot the prize pack stamp. What's the side art from Prize Pack Series? There's a prize pack stamp as well as a Cosmos Holo prize pack stamp. I gotta get that bingo. It actually was a pretty miserable night because the AC was out at the hotel, so I got to the venue super early to cool off. The board was looking pretty good with 4 open squares that I knew about, and 1 lingering red square for the ineligible Vileplume card. Our main focus was finding a fire red leaf green reverse holo because if I'm lucky, we may be able to find one that overlaps one of the remaining artists. My cameraman had studied up the night before so we could divide and conquer, but it got easier once we discovered that vendors actually have their cards organized. Who knew?
They finally told us that this was alphabetical, so it made it easier, but I found Venonat reverse holo. Thank you very much. So the first fire red leaf green reverse holo I found was Venonat, which is very lucky because that's also a Kagamaru Himeno illustration. So now we just got to find an Etsuko Nishida illustration, any one of them that I need, and then we can get the Magikarp, and we got Blackout.
In preparation for the search, I had made a page on Setzen of Etsuko Nishida cards to look for, and there was a chance I would end up with a trainer Pokemon. Let's all just put our energy into convincing my past self to look for gym sets. It was pretty unlikely that these cards would show up in display cases, so I tried to find a table with binders to flip through.
I think this binder has a shot at what we need.
Anything you're looking for?
Alright CTB, you're looking for Gym Heroes or Gym Challenge, nothing else, okay?
There's a handful of, I think, kind of gym era stuff I'm looking for.
It worked! The vendor offered to help me look, so I showed him the Setzen page. As promising as the binders looked, even the second set of eyes wasn't enough to find what we were looking for, so we brought in a third.
I think I have the Erica stuff in somewhere, right here. There's unlimited and first edition.
There is. Oh, there is.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Not only did we find an awesome Etsuko Nishida card, but it was a trainer Pokemon, so finally we could mark off the red square and leave the challenge with no asterisks. All that was left was the Shinji Kanda Magikarp. I had seen a handful of these throughout the search, so I wasn't nervous about being able to find it. I even passed up the first one I found.
I might be back, but I'm gonna keep looking. Thanks. Yeah.
I'd like to say it was because I was being picky for such a large purchase, but honestly, I think I just didn't want the day to end. I stalled even more by picking up a Smoochum reverse holo that caught my eye.
My right hand being occupied is giving me some very intimate handshakes with these people.
I'm really glad I got out of my comfort zone to come do this challenge, and it's all thanks to you guys. I never would have done anything like this if there weren't people eagerly following my journey and sharing their own. Alright, let's rip the band-aid off.
That was the very last card I'm looking for today, so thank you very much. Yeah. Have a good one. We did it. Blackout. Are you still filming? Should probably at least show the card. Beautiful. That is a big one off my list.